else, or the two of you?
Do I want to say more?
Why do you not want to say more? Why are you embarrassed?
So there was a change, and we finally had sex.
Yay. Why are you laughing? How are you two?
Good.
We're good.
We've been communicating more. We've been, like, we try to meditate as often as possible.
You do?
Yeah. She got me into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it together.
Yeah. So we've been, like, following, like, kind of like a reprogramming.
Breaking the patterns.
Yeah, breaking patterns and trying to, like, kind of, like, move, like, let go of the past, like, kind of stuff.
Just
trying to break bad habits.
Wow.
That may be affecting us. I feel like what you mentioned last week about the difference in our approaches, like what she's trying to build on, I'm going reverse or doing this dance, and
Yeah.
you know, I think it just helped me step back and reflect, and, like, you know, I'm putting myself in the very position that I don't want to be in by the way I'm doing things. So.
Meaning you're weakening the relationship,
Correct.
and then you're looking at it and you're saying, it looks weak.
Yeah, and, like, it's just, like, you know, a vicious cycle where it's like I'm never.
I can't trust it.
Yeah, I'm not even giving her an opportunity, or for us to, like, get something right, because I'm so standoffish about the way things have been.
That's big.
So.
No, that's huge. I've noticed a change even in him from last week. Just, you know, just him being more open to, like, listening to me, and I don't think he realized, like, how that was really happening.
How guarded.
How guarded he was.
Yeah.
No, I
You know,
didn't. It's almost like I put blame on her, and I've been, like, defensive towards her. So almost like maybe in some ways I felt like I made up my mind. Like, maybe I didn't want to save the relationship.
it's the same thing with me, you know? Whenever I would feel like anything had to do with trust, I would go back and think about the times that he's done these things to me where I felt like, well, this is an example of why I can't trust you. Like, I had all these things, you know, not realizing that I'm actually triggering Alan to, like, more stress.
You know, I do want us to move forward, and I would like to take things a step at a time. Like, I just don't want to make any more rash decisions with us anymore.
Neither do I.
I love you, you know that.
I'm learning more about that.
I never told you something, actually, when Deshaun and I met. We worked together, and someone at the job was telling me how cute Deshaun was. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, he's so good looking. And we met, and I felt like this sting in my stomach and this whole reaction to me. And I was like, oh my God, in my head. At the time I was married. I went home to my then husband. I was like, I met this guy. Oh my goodness, he's so great and he's so fantastic. Not realizing,
knowing what you're saying.
But it just struck me the way that it did. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna marry him. That it was just I felt him, and so I need to make that a constant for me.
How are you doing?
She is very in tune with me. But the funny thing is, I don't understand why we constantly get into the disagreements or these.
Well, I have some thoughts about it, but I'm actually more curious to know, what do you guys think? I mean, based on what we've done here.
It comes from the lack of trust, not really.
From your lack of trust.
Correct. Not really toward you, but just in general. And so, like she said, my pictures are painted with these colors, right? And so, but I've developed new colors, so I'm excited about that.
But the part that is yours, yes, it has to do with your mistrust and that you project that on. But there's a part that is yours, Deshawn, that we didn't do enough work with. You are extremely full-heartedly committed to Elaine, right?
Yes.
You're there, you're solid, you're there.
Yeah.
But you have parts of you that are more tucked away.
Yeah.
The way you kind of manage your anger, and it comes out, it leaks out in all sorts of ways that trigger Elaine.
Yeah.
So it's not just Elaine's projections. It's parts of you that you don't completely own that have the effect on the two of you too.
Coming into this, I wanted us to have this therapy, but I wanted it more for you, right? I felt coming into this, I don't have, major issues, and it's all her, and she'll see once we get in there and we start talking about this stuff. But there was a major churning point for me that allowed me to get rid of all of the resentment and ill will that I came in for her. It was, it was at one point where just one day before I was ready to call it quits and I'm done. And then the next day through, the sessions, I had this sort of realization that I said to her, I said, you need to listen to me right now. The words that are about to come out of my mouth, you need to really listen. And it had to do with her trusting me and letting her know that I got you. And I'm gonna leave, going forward with the feeling that we're unbreakable, nothing can come between us. It's, and that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
We went to Fire Island.
And there was this whole Les volleyball tournament, which was really fun.
Yeah. So, we were around a whole slew of lesbians, right? Everyone's socializing. I'm more of the reserved person, but I was like, F it. I'm just...
No, she was the mayor.
No, I was not.
She was the mayor. She was out there, talking. I was like, oh.
You know why? Because I'm very big on the energy that I get from people. So when we walk...
I was like, oh, there you are again. Oh, there. What are you doing all the way over there? You're supposed to...
So we played the first game, and she's like, yeah, the kids are with my brother's family, they'll be with them. So yeah, there'll be some lady loving today. And I was like, oh, did I hear correctly?
I was in the mood.
And
then it kind of just died down because I was really tired.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Because it was one of those days where I overbooked us. Mm-hmm. Then Sunday she texted me.
Yeah, I texted her, and I was like, I was a little bit, I think I said, I'm sad.
She said, I'm saddened.
I'm saddened because, I really thought, and she was like, well, maybe tomorrow, maybe whatever. She was like, I was really thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, but...
I'm easing into it.
I'd rather it just
I am easing
let's
into
just not
it.
speak of it. Let's just...
So, I don't want to tell you because then you're going to get your hopes up.
So, and I tell her, I'm like, listen...
What's the problem then? Then you both get a little excited and then...
And then it kind of just happens, yeah. So...
No,
we just need to get people out the house.
Well, your niece is leaving. The kids will be in their room.
Yeah, but Ma's always
But she's downstairs. She's in her room.
Yeah, but I've always fantasized to have sex everywhere in our house, and we haven't done that yet.
We have not.
Where it's okay, I want to have sex in the kitchen. I want to have sex in our living room. I want sex in the attic.
No, we've only done it we've just keep it confined to our room.
And I'm
sort of, that's a symbol of what you've been saying from the beginning, that it's sort of you've gotten too domesticated.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're becoming more open to new experiences.
Yes. So I'm just feeling that it may happen. I'm like open to it.
Okay.
I'm not as closed off as I was a couple months ago.
I feel like I'm cheesing right now, like from ear to ear.
Before these sessions, I never realized how much I poured out onto Dale. I always thought I had it under control or it was just internal and, you know, he didn't recognize it. But I am projecting a lot. I have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
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 That is what couples do.
Yeah, I'm realizing more and more. It's like I play a part in it as well. There's something I got to take responsibility for here, you know, do a little bit more work.
Did you just say responsibility?
Oh,
Taking
gosh.
responsibility? Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, the work is so good, you know. It's, you know, you want the progress, you want the positive outcome, but it starts emotionally draining you, where you don't want to, I don't know, push anymore.
I think I want to take a break from rehashing old things.
Yep. I think we're good on rehashing the old stuff.
There's been a lot of that over the last couple of weeks.
Does it feel relentless? Like there's just like one session after the next, after the next?
No, I don't think it's the sessions, not necessarily the sessions, just what
It's
kind of comes up.
It's the digging
after
into
the
our
session,
past.
yeah.
It's the, you know, addressing our traumas and our problems. But, you know, it's worth it because just seeing our parents' situation and grandparents and uncles, like, I don't want to be a part of the cycle where you have other outlets to soothe something that you can just look at head on and work on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a lot of escaping from our lineage of family members. I don't want to escape. I don't want to run.
Yeah.
Dale, do you have a sense of what's been particularly meaningful, just in terms of what we talked about?
Well, at least for me, it was opportunity for India to at least hear me out. And in terms of like the conversations that we were having last session, there's definitely going to have to be some kind of emotional rewiring now that I'm with someone that I can trust.
Yeah.
Very moving to hear.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast that I normally listen to. The actual episode was about grief. And so it wasn't about just mourning people that you've lost to, you know, it was about really also mourning versions of yourself, right? And I think the part that really struck a chord with me was like, I've been pushing away the act of grieving my previous self. Like,
Tell me.
when I was like growing up, like my family knew I was going to be the one that was going to go to a school. Like they knew they were like, Natasha's going to become something awesome. She's going to be a lawyer or something. I didn't want to be a lawyer, but they just had big dreams for me. Right? And then, you know, I had my daughter and my plans changed. And so I never really like sat with the fact that like I had this plan for my life and it went somewhere else. And like, while that's a blessing, I felt like mourning that previous life was somehow disrespecting my current reality, right?
Like you couldn't allow yourself to go there.
Yeah. I feel like I'm stopping myself from experiencing joy in this relationship, in my life, because I feel like I'm not that girl.
You've failed yourself in some way.
Some way, yeah.
So you're waiting.
Yeah. To experience joy, to find
You're
that
waiting for
fullness.
her.
Yeah. I'm waiting to be her. I'm waiting for her to show up. And so I was like really sitting with how it would relate to like Josh. Because it's not just sex or intimacy. It's really just like, I need to feel like I deserve those things. That's where I need to be very intentional. It's like, how can I accept myself today? How can I love on myself a little bit more today?
I like that.
Yeah.
You love yourself better. I become better. We become better.
We love each other
There
better.
we go.
But like
yes.
love in like the raised eyebrow way too, like the wink way too.
Oh, okay. I'm down with that.
See? Look at that.
I'm in. Cool.
How's that landing with you?
It's unbelievable that she's doing that work. That's like really difficult work to do. It also makes me sad because that's a lot to carry around. To walk around with the burden of what you should be means that you're constantly walking around with the burden that you're not enough. You know? Anybody else you come in
Maybe
contact
something
with?
about then when the two of you get into this way that you feel disappointed, it sits right on that feeling.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I've been thinking a lot about what our relationship looks like to our children, and being a good model for a healthy relationship to them. I just look at my son. I think about him. Every day I look at him and I think, like, I want to make sure you're fucking good. It's the best as I can. But I also think, like, I guess I do think of my parents, like, no, I just want to be better. I want our children to be the representation of the meticulous effort we put into our relationship. And that at some point in the future, they say our parents really gave a fuck about each other. You know, and they love each other and they worked towards this, and this was work that they did.
Okay, wait.
How was it for the two of you to have this break?
Oh, it was good. It was really lovely.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we had our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Right.
We hiked the Smoky Mountains.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Almost
The
died.
weather?
it was hot and it was
Hot.
raining when we
Hot and
first got
raining,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was raining. Okay.
Oh, you need more
It's-
space? Okay.
It's like, why you?
You had a good time.
Yes. Yeah. And then we encountered a bear.
What?
Yes. Pretty close. It was scary. And
What'd you do?
he tried yelling at it and it was still following us. And we just backed up away, trying not to run.
It was definitely an adventure.
How else are the two of you?
Do I want to say more?
Why do you not want to say more? Why are you embarrassed?
So there was a change, and we finally had sex.
Yay.
Why are you laughing?
Well, because it's funny to me that like you went along with it.
On vacation?
Yeah. And normally she wouldn't in a public setting.
But you said that was one of your kicks.
Yes.
We were just having such a wonderful time during the week. And I thought to myself, well, I did say I'm going to initiate more in some way. And we went to this beautiful spa where you soak in a tub in a private area. And it just felt like an appropriate time. And
But
then
can you say something about what made it possible for you?
even the bear encounter, he was actually, I felt like he was brave. He tried yelling at it and he had me stay back and went ahead and tried to, not that he was gonna fight the bear, but he wasn't running from it. He was trying to see whatever he could do about it. And I felt protected and I felt like, I could rely on him. And at home, I don't get to see more of that because I feel like I run a lot of the things that happen at home.
But that we've discovered is not so great for the two of you.
Right. But then, when we came back home, we got intimate again. And I was thinking to myself, has there been a breakthrough? Is this something that's constant?
Do you have any thoughts on this, Rex?
I don't know if it's just the natural high of the week, because The day we came back was our actual wedding anniversary. So that still plays into why we got intimate the night of. Anyone would still be worried, like would it go back to how it was, because there's no bear chasing after us with me with a walking stick and a pepper spray in one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when he came back, like, it was the ride of the momentum of the week, but he also, like, cooked for me that night. That probably had something to do. It did something.
But it sounds like we know what that something is. You're taking more initiative and you're making room. And then being courageous as far as, like, overcoming your inhibitions.
It also helped that we started praying for each other at night.
Praying for each other.
So we would just face each other in bed, hold hands, and close our eyes and take turns.
It's like the first time in the day I get to hear what's in his heart and what he's thinking about today and he hopes for in the future.
We made it a year, and I love you very much. And I don't really say that in public.
Sounds like you're getting better at it.
I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You go have sex. I'm going to go have sex. We'll figure it out. It's very strange. Before, I didn't feel like it was something we had earned as a couple. But since we came into this space with you, we were analyzing ourselves, our relationship. I now know what it feels like.
In
terms of the openness and feeling comfortable with it happening.
Well, describe what it feels like. What's the interior of that feeling?
Freedom, I guess. There's some freedom there. There's a lot of trust, saying, I trust you that you won't do something dumb and you're just gonna take care of whatever you gotta do.
And for me, as long as you're able to get you at home, I'm okay. If you're not home, I'm gonna go nuts. And that happened last week, where he just left the home and I just thought, where you at?
Where'd you go?
I went out and have a drink with my friend, confirmed it, showed texts, showed pictures, timestamps, like, look, I was here at this time. You know, like, it was actually kind of cute with the way he came up to me, was like, did you hook up with someone? And I'm like, no.
It was I think actually the very first time when I sat down and said,
he looked genuinely concerned. He was so
I'm not
concerned.
feeling good about this. I'm gonna go down and talk to him because if I don't talk to him, I'm gonna get anxiety.
Yeah.
But what was your anxiety?
You were gone for an hour, so what was going on? What's up? Were you with somebody? You can tell me. I just wanted you to tell me something so I can get reassured that you were not doing something super crazy outside our home. And he confirmed not. He clarified, and
What's the super crazy fear?
I know, it's so interesting.
What?
This super crazy fear. Like, what is this, doing something stupid? Like
the table had turned around. The table had turned. Now, I'm the one that would they don't. And I realized that I was scared that once you find that person attractive, you would leave me.
No, Bubba. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's just me growing up with that mentality that eventually someone will leave me. My dad, my stepdad. And I don't know if I told you, but the time that I fucked up in the past in our relationship, it was because it's like, you know what, I am so unworthy of it that I would just go ahead and fuck it up because eventually you will leave me.
What were you doing to sabotage?
Self-medicate, smoke, drink. And I had a few hookups behind his back. Yeah.
But you've come a long way.
I have.
What is the long way?
I've said it before and I will say it again. I am always a late bloomer. I will eventually catch up. It's like, oh, okay, so this is what it's supposed to be like.
What are you thinking?
It's just so interesting to me. I'm listening to myself, right? We've been in this room for almost 3 months. I was on the other side of this couch. It's very nice.
What's it like?
It's really awesome.
Huh?
It's really awesome
What?
to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's taken the burden of being the parent for Kyle. I feel like now I've like, okay, I don't have to do that anymore, right? And now I feel like I'm having a relationship with them, with Kyle, right? Like now it's like, okay, this is a relationship. You're helping me out here. It doesn't feel like as if I'm the one carrying the relationship like this.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to Team Kylondo. Welcome.